Are you looking to upscale your habits so you can also upscale your levels of success? Are you looking to make subtle transformations to your life that will give you great rewards and benefits? Well, pull up a chair and let's have a talk about some of the habits of successful people and how we can implement those in our lives to also start to see those successes. Welcome back to Ira Living. Today, we're going to be looking at 5 habits of successful people. Now, in order to be successful, it's something that many people aspire to, and only few people are able to truly call themselves successful. Now, it takes determination, it takes tenacity, it takes intentionality, and it takes discipline in order to become a successful individual. And for many, people look at success as the number of degrees you have, the amount of money you have in the bank, and the amount of businesses that you have. However, biblically, success is looked at as how much of your purpose are you managing to fulfill on a day-to-day basis and over the period of your lifespan. And so when we look at success and we look at it from that angle, we then recognize that it encompasses some of the other things that people look at as success, but it is focused primarily on the individual and what talents, skills, and expertise they have and how they are harnessing it and utilizing it for their advancement as well as for the advancement of the people in their sphere and in the world at large. So now we're going to take a step to have a look at some of these 5 habits that we've mentioned that people are using in order to make themselves more successful. The first one that we're going to look at is setting goals and achieving them. Now, when we're setting goals, it's key and important that we ensure that the goals we set are goals that are SMART goals. And they need to be goals that are actually going to make a significant difference in our lives by the time we get to the point of achieving them, doing all the steps that we will take along the journey to get to that outcome. So firstly, we need to ensure that the targets we set are specific. We also need to make sure that they're measurable. We also need to make sure that they're achievable, that they're realistic, and that they're time-bound. So that simply means that you need to be very thorough about any goal that you're going to be setting yourself and ensuring that all of these features exist in the goal that you set. Now, when we set time-bound goals, it is more likely that we're going to feel incentivized to pursue it because we know that there is an end game that we're working at. And therefore, it's very important that that's the case. Now, when we set our goals and we're not very specific, then it's open to interpretation. So what we need to do is to be specific about what it is that we want to do, when it is we want to get it done by, and making sure that we can measure that we've gotten there. Okay, and then all the other bits, the realistic and the achievable, comes in that package, because then we know that we're not setting ourselves up to fail, so we're being realistic. And what we're going to be doing, we can actually manage to achieve it. So for example, one of your goals that you might want to set is that you're going to set yourself up to lose 10 pounds over the next 3 months. Now, is this something that is specific? We know we're going to lose weight and we know how much we intend to lose. We don't just say we're going to lose weight. And we also know that we're going to be making sure that it's measurable because it says how much it is that we're going to lose. So if we weigh ourselves now, we can weigh ourselves then, and we can work out how much it is that we've lost over time. It's achievable because now we need to set up steps that's going to support us and help us to achieve it. And setting it for 3 months is very realistic because if you think about it, that is less than 5 pounds per month that you would need to lose. So therefore, it's a realistic target. It's not putting too much pressure, especially if it's something that you're just going to be starting out with. We could also put the same thing towards money. We could set ourselves a target that says, over the next 5 months, I'm going to save £1,000. And is that going to be something that's realistic? Because now it means that I need to save at least £200 per month in order for me to realize my goal. Now, the next one, number 2, is to say no when it's no. Sometimes we feel bound that we need to say yes to people simply because, well, the reality of the matter is no is a full sentence and it's a perfectly clear response. So if no is what you mean, say no. You know, Yeshua, when he walked on the earth, said, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. So simply he's saying, when it's yes, say yes. When it's no, say no. And say no unapologetically, just as you would say yes unapologetically. Because if no is what it is, then no is simply what it is. And number 3 is to be able to self-incentivize. Now, a lot of people feel like it's just too much, it's too selfish or too self-centered for them to actually incentivize themselves. Actually, incentivizing yourself is a part of establishing your own self-worth and your own self-value and recognizing that you deserve a reward here and there. Now, whatever it is that you do to incentivize yourself, it might be that you decide that this month you're going to incentivize yourself by saving an additional £50 or $50. It might also mean that you decide that for incentivizing yourself, you're going to be going away and doing a manicure or pedicure. What you do with these incentivization is that you make sure that they are things that you've scheduled in and you've budgeted for, and therefore you do it in that manner. So it does not have a negative effect on your aspirations financially. Now, some of the ways in which you can incentivize yourself could cost nothing other than your time. Some of the ways you incentivize yourself could be cost-free. For example, you know that you're that type of person who wants 30 minutes of solitude each day. Now, the best thing to do is to reward yourself with that. So find that time in the day when you can give yourself that 30 minutes of solitude. You might also be the type of person who wants to get a little bit of a laughter here and there to help to spruce up your mood and add joy to your existence. Well, then put yourself in a position where that is something that you can experience, and you can experience it frequently. It might mean that you go around people who you know that will give you that laughter in a healthy fashion, and therefore you can spend time with people like those to help to make sure that you're incentivizing yourself. Figure out what it is that you need to incentivize yourself. Come up with a list of maybe 5 things that you're going to do in the first half of the year, and then work through those to incentivize yourself as you're going along and remind yourself that you're worth it. The 4th thing you want to keep in mind is having a backup plan. Now, having a backup plan is very different from having a plan B. Now, having a plan B means that if plan A doesn't work, then you will go off and do this other plan. Having a backup plan means that there are several pathways to get to the same destination. And if path A gets blocked, then, and it's making it difficult for you to clear, then you can go on to path B. And you can also go on to path C if the need becomes necessary. But whatever it takes, you're going to get to that end destination for the plan that you have set up. Now, keep in mind that failure sometimes happens, and you might need to redo and redo because you might need to practice what you're doing or learn the lessons from the steps that you have already taken that has failed. Learn to accept circumstances and then use those knowledge in the future for other endeavors that you're going to be undertaking. Keep in mind that whenever a path becomes blocked, you need to always have in mind that there are other paths that you can take. Think about those in advance when you're planning so that you can create a backup plan. Number 5, learn how to use your time wisely. So this is very important because many people say time is money. But for me, I do not see it in quite the same light, because you can regain money, you can never regain time. Time is a way more valuable commodity than money ever will be. And so it's important that you're utilizing it to its maximum potential at every minute and every second of your day. So therefore, learn how to delegate. Now, delegating is very different from offloading. When you offload work, you just offload it onto somebody who you have the confidence in that they will complete it, because that is not a high level of priority for you. When you delegate something, you give it to somebody who you know have the skills, the expertise, and the potential to get the work done. However, you monitor that process as it's going along to ensure that what you want to accomplish is being accomplished, and it's being accomplished in the time frame that you would like to get it done, and in the most effective and efficient way possible. Also consider outsourcing. Not everything needs to be done in-house or within the team that you're working with. Some things can be outsourced to other people who can do it for you at a minimal cost to yourself, which does not equate to the value of the time it would have taken you to do it. And oftentimes it's things that you might need to go and learn how to do in order to get it done, when there are others out there who have the expertise to be able to do it for you quite efficiently. Learn also how to develop yourself. So use your time wisely and ensure that whatever you're doing, you're adding lifelong learning into it. This might mean that you need to watch something, that you need to read something, or that you actually need to do something. So whatever it is that you need to do to develop yourself, make that a core part of your existence, personal development. Lastly, with using your time wisely, understand how to build social network, and then how to unlock the potentials that are within those social networks, because all of these things together will help to advance you to a place where you become a lot more successful than your former self. Remember, financial literacy is revolutionary. It has transformed my life, and I believe that it can do the same to yours.